Oh, hi, you guys. Let's turn this music down, because I can't hear myself at all. How do I turn this music down? I don't know how to turn the music down. I mean, we could just write it out. Okay. I'm just gonna stop it. It stopped. No music. Kill the music. The music is done. Guys, today we are raising money for Racist Texas. We are raising money to help the kids on the border who are being separated from their families, trying to get them some representation and get them happy and sorted. So our next one shot is going to be conducted by Charlie. I'm very much looking forward to it because Charlie's amazing. Hang on, let me just sort this out too because I've confused my. There it is. That's not what I want. Left a bit. Oh, that's close. Yeah, that'll do. Okay, so cool. That's me done. Really. I'm not doing much promotion for myself today. I'm just saying that all your donations go towards Racist Texas. So yeah, awesome. Let's in that case go and grab the guys. And oh hi, you guys. You are live.
Oh hi.
Hi.
Hello.
Hello.
So, Charlie, would you like to go first or last?
I think I will go last.
Okay. So today in Charlie's animalistic world, I'm going to be playing a Kenku called Kenku. It's inspired, I know. I haven't decided everything about him yet, but I do know that he's. I think. Let me just remind myself. I think he's a more intelligent Kenku than the average Kenku. Yes, he's more intelligent than the average, so he's going to do something a little bit interesting with his mimicry. So let's go round. Let's go with the mechanism.
Hi. I'm gonna be playing Kothar. He's a tall, lean, mean lizard folk. He has he's big and green. He has purple frills that make him look a bit bigger than he normally is. He's very logical and focused on survival. And he has an interesting backstory that may or may not come up.
Fantastic. And next, if we just go round the clock on our little streamy thing, so that does nearly put Charlie last. Actually, it would have put me last, but I just stepped in because do what I want. So next we have Leah at How Peculiar. Hello.
Hi. So I'm going to be playing Kitty Lepeur, a Tabaxi monk. She is old, she is scrappy, and she's a little bit cranky.
Awesome.
Yep, that's it. That's all you get.
No, that's perfect. I mean, I came with nothing. I said this is awesome. Next up we have Chorus RPG, who is muted.
Sorry, no, it's a great start to the day. I'm gonna be playing Grandmaster Tonto, a Turtle monk, who, for the longest time, was the grand master of a respected martial arts monastery up until a few years ago, and now he is a wandering monk who is just living day to day trying to figure out his craft.
Fantastic, thank you. And last of the players, Kim, Geeky Tea Party. Oh, hi.
Hello. Like Scrat said, I'm Kim, and I am going to be playing Olivia. She is a wizard, mouseling, alchemist. And that's me.
Awesome. And so with that, we hand over to you, Charlie. Welcome. Thanks for DMing. I'm looking forward to this so much.
Wow, welcome to my little world, which has become full of animal folk. Gone are the classic elves and dwarves and gnomes. Replaced in their stead are the fine tabaxi, turtles, lizard folk, kenku, mouselings, and who did I forget? pig folk of the neighborhood. The group has come together from across the world and across a multitude of experiences, and had found their way into the mountains, emerging from caves with demons, having traveled across the breadth of the range from monasteries, wandering paths, peddling goods. They've met under a multitude of circumstances, and they have come across another party, another group of similar disposition, composition, perhaps, who have told them that they are journeying home after the first of the summer hunts, and they have been invited to a great feast in a longhouse in the valley just below the peak that they are currently gathered on. It's high summer and high humidity, as off of a grand lake that fills this valley, water is rising and filling the air. And you are invited to journey down the mountain to join in their feast to celebrate this hunt. What is everyone up to as you look down
First
on this luscious green valley?
of all, I am thanking Gaming Din for his £20 donation. Now, I think I've read this right, but I'll read it all to you guys as well so I'm getting it right, because I think he changes what he's going to do with it halfway through. So he says, a wild magic surge for Alero and a boss monster to attack the party gym. Wait, I've been told to give some of my money to good causes, but chaos is a good cause. Fine, fine. 4 nat 1s or 20s. Charlie's choice, who and what?
Ooh.
Is it Warhammer Wednesday yet?
It's Warhammer Wednesday soon. But thank you so much, Gaming Den. That is super appreciated. I am feeling mischievous.
Nat one.
While you guys tell me what you're doing, I'm gonna figure out who's getting what. So please go ahead and tell me what you're doing.
So like the Kenku, he's just gonna be hot. Like, whatever everyone else is doing, he's just wandering around looking for water sources and other such things. If I've been invited to a feast, you say, then he'll be heading to that feast because they're bound to have wine.
Kothar is just going to be he's kind of in his element. He's from the swamp, so he's used to this humidity. So he's not smiling because he's never smiled in his life. But he is just kind of like contently humming and just, I guess, strolling along the path with everyone else leading.
Kitty is not enjoying the heat. She's slinking along everywhere in the shadows, just kind of disdainfully glaring around at the atmosphere. But feast sounds pretty good. She does love food. She does not love people, but you know, win some, lose some.
I think Tonto is going to be trailing behind most people. He's going to be just waddling along on his staff and just taking in the sights. He seems content, doesn't seem too bothered by the heat, and he's just enjoying the scenery as they make their way.
Olivia is close behind Grandmaster Tonto's heels because all of these big, all these big people want to eat her. And she's terrified of the tabaxi. And so she's close on Grandmaster Tonto's heels.
You proceed down the valley. You're being guided by a tall, well, for Olivia, tall hedgehog woman who is dressed in a simple scarf with jingling bells. On her back, a large sack brimming with what appears to be herbs and other foraged items. And she's the leader of the band that you've come across, and she explains as you go down into the valley that every year, with the spring melt, they set forward and journey up into the mountains to collect herbs, foraging, seek treasure, fight back any beasts who have awoken with the spring. And at the end of 4 weeks of hunting, they journey down for the beginning of summer. And it's tradition to hold this great feast in honor of the rebirth of their world, and to join and share stories and set goals similar to kind of what we would do at New Year's, of what's that called, resolutions. And then for the second spring hunt or the second summer hunt, they go forward to achieve these, and then they have to return in the autumn with stories of glory and more significant bounties to get them through the winter. Arriving down in the valley, you see the Great Lake. The sun is shining off a bit, silver reflections, and a rainbow arcs as water is rising rapidly in a misty form off of it. And getting closer, through the mist, just beyond the rainbow, you can see a small village, a great wooden construction, which you would recognize as a longhouse, particularly Tanto, who is so old and so wise. The longhouse is on stilts, which hold it just above the lush and dense green grass of this region. And already coming from its 2 chimneys, smoke is pouring, and the smell of spices and flowers fill the air. You have arrived, at least, at the village.
Kothar kind of wrinkles his nose and is like, ugh, it stinks of flowers here.
I will be looking for a cool building to go and cool down, or maybe a trough to lay in. I was not built for heat.
Oh, I like the smell of flowers. Oh, it smells so pretty.
Perhaps we can go and find some if you want to, Olivia. I wouldn't mind seeing a few myself.
Oh, I would
Oh my
love
god, your tone of voice is amazing.
Thank you.
Sorry.
It's okay.
Kitty is just slinking behind the lizard folk, just kind of, oh, the heat, the flowers, the mouse is so excited. Oh, just not her shtick at all.
Kitty, let's go and find a someplace far away from people and close to food.
That is an idea I can definitely get on board with.
So I think we'll both slink off and go see if we can find some food.
As you turn to go, the hedgehog woman reaches out her hand and says, just go into the longhouse. Food will be along very soon. I can't promise you'll avoid people, though.
All right.
And she'll offload this sack of herbs and hold it out for Kothar to carry into the longhouse.
Begrudgingly, I take it.
And you see she's busy directing people as they reach the village, sending them to get wood and various other supplies to let people know they've returned and that they have honored guests tonight. So everyone should adorn themselves appropriately.
I just start like grooming.
Yeah, Kothar doesn't do any of that.
It's like the most effort Kitty's willing to put in.
Tonto's gonna be aware of that, but at the same time kind of just wander off to find some bushes and some flowers that he can find and just see if there's any for sale here.
Tonto and Olivia, as you make your way around the village to the side, there's a great sprawling meadow with poppies and cornflowers, buttercups and daisies, tulips and dandelions. Just a sea of colourful flowers and luscious green. Small bees buzz around between them.
It's a wonderful place here.
It is. Oh, and Olivia's gonna go like run around and roll in it because
Because field mouse.
Tonto is gonna set his cane, well, his staff gently on the ground. Just kind of try to get himself down. He's got one arm, unfortunately. Most of his shell is kind of burned away, and there's a large like scab on one side where his arm used to be. But he's gonna sit down. He's gonna crane his neck and just try to sniff at a flower. Probably get it caught in his nose. He's like, and just go back to try to be very zen. Yeah.
As the rest of the party enter the longhouse, it is delightfully cool in here. There seems
Thank
to
goodness.
always be a breeze that wafts around in a figure of 8, and a long table makes up the majority of the room, the center of which appears to be some sort of trough, blackened metal of some description. And already on the table being laid out is this great feast. There's fruits and vegetables. You can see at one end being prepared, there are some small game creatures. And there's a sense of busyness in here, but the breeze brings this slow motion calm to the center of this room.
And I guess it's cooler in here.
Much cooler in here. It's like walking into air conditioning. There's just an intense, peaceful bliss that washes over you and sucks away that clinging, cloying heat.
It's the
that was so stifling.
the English summer dream.
It's like walking into Costco on a hot Texas day.
We have no
No
idea
one
what
else-
that feels.
Yeah, no one else gets what that means. except for me.
oh, I do.
Yeah.
Oh, you do? Okay.
Yeah, I'm from Texas, so
Oh, really?
So now that it's a bit cooler, Kenku will turn to the other two people who entered and be like, "Oh hey, you guys!"
Jesus.
He's Stitch.
How are
So-
you?
I don't think I've ever said that. But okay. Kothar goes, you said the table is like a figure 8?
I know that there's like a breeze is making a figure 8. The table is a really long, broad thing. It takes up most of the room, which is just a long rectangle.
Okay. Can I go? I want to go to the end of the table so I'm not brushing shoulders with anyone.
Okay.
Does it look like either end of the table is like set for some kind of like dignitary to sit in or someone who's important that's not me?
As you're looking at the table, it's just long benches either side. At one end, there is some preparation going on there's plucking of pheasants, skinning of other animals to be made into the meat portion of the feast. And then at the other table, it's empty. It's just an empty end with another bench. It doesn't seem to be particularly grandly set.
Okay, so I'll go and just sit on the end.
I'm gonna follow and sit opposite.
I'll hover. Not literally. I mean, I just won't take a seat.
Cast levitate.
You see approaching you nervously. Scrat, what's your Kenku called again? Remind me, Ken, right?
Kenku.
Kenku? Yeah. Should have known. So Ken, you see approaching you somewhat nervously another small bird folk. How familiar do you think Ken is with birds?
Probably like we're from the same region. We probably keep sort of relations. We might not be best friends, but I'll almost know them, I guess.
This appears to be something similar to a pied wagtail, a small black and white and grey bird with a long tail, and she hops nervously from foot to foot as she approaches.
Oh, Hal.
You are honoured guests!
Yes, I must be.
You are strange. You are new. You are found in the mountains?
You were found in the mountains? He says to the rest of the group.
Not all of us. I am from the swamp.
The swamp. That sounds terribly gloomy and delightful.
Exactly.
I am from the mountains, but I am nobody's honored guest.
No, you must be. Any stranger that eats from our table is honored guest.
Okay, that's a low bar you've got set there, but I'll take it.
I am from the city.
A grand place indeed. What news from the city?
Always good news.
Good news is best news.
Yes, my friends.
And she, you notice, kind of brings her wing around, and on it are all these flower garlands. And she begins to pull them off and drape them over your necks if you'll allow her. She's a little bit more nervous about doing this with Kitty, who doesn't seem to like her very much already.
I just like bow down my head to let her do it, but also like put out my claws at the same time. Mixed signals.
And she kind of scurries down the bench with a kind of a hop and a skip. Never a full walk. Well,
Excuse me.
The real Kitty.
Yes,
What's
real life
that?
kitty.
more
Wants
honored
to be part
guests
of
for the feast. Well, if you need anything, just give me a call. And you see her laying out more of these garlands along the table at each place that you imagine is going to be a place setting.
How many
Ow.
garlands is she laying out? Like how many people does it look like they're expecting?
It looks like they're expecting around 30 people to be attending this feast. You imagine the table could easily fit many more if it were more closely set, but there are about 30 garlands going on the table.
Cool.
Out.
Oh,
Sorry.
Kothar he takes the garland and is put around his neck and wants to like kind of nibble on one of the flowers. Does it taste strange at all?
The flower tastes very much like a flower.
Okay.
Do you feel Kothar has a gourmet tongue for florals? Is it a specialism? Is it something he frequently eats?
No, he's used to eating the flesh and bones of his victims. So this
tastes disgusting. There is no iron. There is no sweet marrow. Tastes distinctly green. But in no way poisonous or acrid.
Okay. He
In
just
that
kind of
way.
spits it out in disgust. He's like, ugh.
Out in the field, rolling around, Olivia, you feel yourself gain this euphoria, this really pure light joy inside of you. And as you look at your limbs, having finally exhausted yourself with the rolling, you see small, tiny specks, motes of rainbow light flickering, almost as if you rolled in glitter.
Thank you very much for the donation, Saverick. No conditions with it, just £10 towards the cause. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
When we reach £200, by the way, there will be a viewer decision.
Ooh.
Oh no.
Oh no.
How exciting and terrifying.
I've only ever had them used against me, so it's quite nice being the DM. So, Olivia, you begin to glitter. And Tanto, with each step you make, you see the imprint of your foot. Yeah, you probably have feet, right? Kind of like a tortoise.
Yeah.
And then flippers like a turtle.
Mm-hmm.
Is that how we're doing? Okay. You see an array of little glitter, kind of like holographic dust that catches the sun with each step and then fades as you wander through the flower meadow.
Did we eat the poppies?
Did you eat the poppies?
I don't know yet, but Tonto is gonna try to
I'm just gonna
recall if
blanket
he's seen
apology
something like
the
this
cat.
before. Okay.
Sorry.
If this is some sort of natural phenomenon from the area.
Sorry, was that going to be a nature or an arcana check?
Nature, hopefully.
Okay.
18.
You believe this is probably a natural effect of this flower meadow, some sort of convalescence of natural magic that you're stirring with each of your movements. Looking around the meadow, it's so lush and there's no kind of flattening where herd animals would pass through or even a large adventuring party. You believe this is probably generally an undisturbed area. Yes, entirely natural and unthreatening glitter going on.
If that's the case, Tonto's gonna pick up his quarterstaff. He's gonna look around. He's gonna plant his feet, and he's going to start moving his staff through the air. And is going to start to do a kata, going through movements in his style and try to move his quarterstaff in a way where it picks up the dust and makes it flow into the air and try to like make it like to guide it through the wind to try to just be at peace.
You're doing this, you find that same euphoria that Olivia feels bubbling through her, the blissful restfulness, and you believe so wholeheartedly that today is going to be a great day. It's just that Friday morning feeling of this is the day that's going to be amazing. The weather's perfect. You're in a beautiful place, and nature is here with you. And you feel it almost imbued within every fiber of you and within the end of your quarterstaff as it cuts through the air.
Tonto's gonna stop at a point, put his staff down again. He's gonna start waving at the sun. Just happy.
Olivia's
Laugh.
really excited and she's looking at herself and she runs up to Tonto. Look, can you see how sparkly and pretty I am?
I do see, child.
Thank-
You look very good today, as does this world.
So do you.
I hope that our friend up there is having a good day. They have sent this heat wave, and it seems impolite not to wave back.
Hello, Mr. Sun.
So, we should tell our friends about this place and maybe share a cup of tea. What do you think?
Oh, I like that idea. I do.
Yeah.
I like that idea.
Will you guide an old man to the lodge? My bones tire.
Yes. I'm gonna grab the side of his shell.
Thank you very much to Cleric of Cord, who donates £10 to give a nat 1 and a nat 20 to Charlie.
Well, I see how it is, Cleric. I see. As Tonto and Olivia make their way back, they realize that dusk has begun to fall. Despite arriving in the valley about lunchtime, it's already getting dark around you, and you are not sure where time has gone with the day. Inside the longhouse, it has been a busy afternoon of preparations. Each of the honored guests has been asked to taste most of the dishes as they are made. And within the trough in the center of the table of the blackened metal, it has been filled with herbs and spices which burn, giving off colored fire. And so begins a bell to toll, announcing the beginning of the feast.
As people begin to filter in, I'm gonna do a perception check to see just what kind of like what kind of races are
Mhm.
made up in this town. Get to my sheet. Uh, 18. No, that's not 18. 23.
23. Right, with the 23, you eye each person as they cross the threshold through the 2 doors on the east side of the building. You see the hedgehog folk lady that you saw previously, Tabaxi. There are some stranger animal folk that you don't see often. There is a centaur that climbs the stairs on 4 legs, and it's a true menagerie. You have the impression that these are peoples that have come together from far away places and formed some sort of tribe, some sort of nomadic existence here. You do notice it seems to be mostly vegetarian and prey type animals. You see very few predator beyond the tabaxi that you notice take over the butchery and the preparation of the meat at the far end of the table near one of the hearths.
He just kind of nods and looks to Kitty. Kitty, do you notice anything strange about the people around?
Can I have a look around and see if like we recognize anyone, and also how fancy these other guests look?
Sure, give me a perception check.
Okay. Not great.
It's still good enough. You notice everyone who begins to wander in, especially later, there's been a bit of coming and going. They have adorned themselves in more expensive fabrics. In some cases, such as the centaurs, you see a finely polished armor that it looks like brushed aluminium type effect. It's very fancy looking, although you suspect not necessarily the best quality for fighting in. There are also ceremonial weapons which are laid out on top of the garlands in each of the settings where people intend to sit for the evening. Were there any other questions?
If we recognize anyone.
Do you recognize anyone? You don't recognize anyone, although you suspect that there are people here that are important. Not necessarily like nobility, but you suspect perhaps like Grandmaster Tanto, there are people here who have experienced things in their lives that you may have heard of in a tavern or an inn at one time or another. But everyone is kind of treated as an equal and kind of just getting on with doing their part in contributing towards this feast.
Kano's gonna go up to one of the people that is busy preparing, and is going to just simply say, "Excuse me. I hope that I'm not being a bother, but if me and my small friend here could get a cup of tea, that would be most agreeable."
Tea. I see you are a cultured man. Few here appreciate tea as they should. The centaur, you hear his hoof falls on the wood of the floor, and it kind of echoes around where there's that void beneath.
Mhm.
And he walks to the fire and collects a steaming pot with a red rag, and he pulls it off and he pours for you. The honey here is particularly good. I advise you sweeten your tea with it.
I want to try to get a read on this guy. I don't expect anything bad, but given the feeling that I got in the meadow, it seemed a little bit more than natural.
Mm-hmm.
And I just want to see if he's also affected by this. Maybe.
While you roll that, just so everyone knows, we did dish out the nat 20s and the nat 1s randomly for the players. The nat 20s can be used at any time so that you can automatically succeed on your roll. The nat 1s will be used against you at a time of my choosing.
Awesome.
With a 15 insight, You have the impression that this is a studied man, a learned man, that he is very familiar with the topics he's talking about. He isn't lying in any way about the honey here being very good. You have the impression that perhaps he has some natural connections, perhaps druidic, perhaps some other form of nature magic connection. But you don't particularly know, obviously, what he is, but you definitely have that. He has an aura about him for certain that connects him to the natural world.
Tell me, what is the magic that lies in the field outside?
That is an ancient gift. You are wise to have noticed it. This valley has been blessed by the deities to be a safe haven for those in need of rest. He starts as if he's about to continue, and then he kind of stops and just has this wry smile.
It's a very, very wonderful place. Thank you for your hospitality.
And he waves over another of the tribe and sends them to get some tea leaves. And he'll prepare the tea for you. And he takes a great deal of time and ceremony in making it for you.
Olivia, what kind of tea would you prefer?
How about something fruity? Something that tastes like fruit. Yeah, I like fruit.
Wonderful choice. Why don't you fetch me some apple from the table? We shall slice it and put it in with the tea.
Okay. And I'm gonna scurry off and get apples.
Okay, what are Kitty and Ken up to?
Are they still like preparing the feast at this stage?
As the bell is ringing, the feast is pretty much laid. There are only a few tasks going on. Some more meat is being cooked. And the tea is being prepared for Olivia and Tanto as well. But everyone seems to be taking their places at the table now.
I think Kitty is just still gazing around, just kind of a little bit confused by this weird Zen little town. What about you, lizard boy?
This is that's racist.
That's boy with a BOI. I think Kothar is just kind of like he's being a lizard. He's kind of just like chilling out, feeling the cold breeze. Kind of like when you see a lizard basking on a rock and they're just not moving. He's just kind of not moving, taking everything in, looking for anything suspicious. Not really into what is going on, but not feeling threatened by anything.
Ken he probably detached himself to Kitty and Kopar. He's gonna go sit with them. He feels like part of the group now. He's gonna look at you guys companionably and, oh, hi, you guys.
Kitty's just gonna reach over and just like, if there's like a loose feather hanging off anywhere, just like pluck it free.
Peck!
And just kind of like use it as like a little toothpick.
Don't say that's very rude.
You're adorable, little bird.
Kothar just kind of just breathes out of his nostril very heavily, but slowly, so that no one notices. He kind of makes his frills kind of stand up on edge, just a little bit taller, so he looks a bit more regal.
I preen.
Yeah, the lizard's preening as well.
Ooh, dinner bell.
The lady hedgehog, who introduced herself as Hella earlier, and I totally forgot that she had a name, stands up on the bench, elevating herself from about 3'6" to about 5'6" ish. Welcome to the summer feast. We are proud of our bounty this year from the spring hunt, but we have much work to do with the summer. Please, eat your fill and drink your worth. Tonight we shall share our stories and design our goals for the coming year. And she's trying to balance a very large tankard in her hand. It's much too large for her. You get the feeling she's not sat where she was meant to sit, but she's making do with this very giant cup. And she holds it aloft. To the feast and to the future.
To the first and to the future.
It's like a wry raise of the glass and a sip.
As we begin to eat, let us start the stories. Tonight we have a myriad of honored guests joining us, strangers from the mountains and beyond. Grandmaster Tanto, we have heard much of you, of your journeys in previous lives. Will you not begin by telling us of a great quarry you have defeated? And she's looking at you expectantly, still stood on this bench.
He's gonna just blink, not having expected this. He's gonna look at the tea and think, well, it'll be ready by the time I'm done. I graciously accept this charge. Will someone help me to the front?
Oh, I will. And the little pied wagtail hops from her position and scurries over to you, one foot to the other, and offers a wing.
I graciously accept and allow her to guide me towards the front of the room. I'm going to scan the room, just try to take in everyone who's there. It's like, so, I am told that you want to hear the story of conflict. I have many stories, but I will tell the tales that want to be told.
The room is in rapture. Everyone's face looks to you. Forks hover just above plates as if they were about to eat, but they're excited to hear the story.
He's going to dig into his pouch, and he's going to take one of the flowers that he had picked out of the field. He's going to take the bud, and he's going to lift it up into the air and just give it a and let it float. So, most beautiful of things are often fleeting. And so it was with my home, the Emerald Valley. It was a beautiful place, filled with many good folk. They were peaceful. And I lived in a monastery that was older than me, if you can believe that. It was a home of many great heroes of old, and I was proud, as the Grand Master, to train the newest generation. I lived and laughed with my students, ate with them, danced with them, shared bruises with them, many of whom I considered dear friends. Ours was an idyllic life, one of little hardship and contemplation. And then, unfortunately, as many good things, the tide picked up, the river dried, and there came a conqueror from the west. A great man, but a terrible one as well. You might know him as Korvac the Black-Hearted of the Iron Army. He could not accept the world as it was. He thought that every branch, tree, and fruit belonged to him and not to those around him. And so he conquered valleys, and made his way toward us.
At this, there are gasps and there's a muttering. There's a sense that everyone here is very invested in what is going on and fears that Korvac may at any time turn up at their door, at their valley.
He was a very large, bullish man, giant ram's horns, and he wore black armor and wielded a long glaive that was said to cut the very stone of a mountain. He had heart, and he and his army descended upon our home, driving away the villagers. My students debated on what to do, and I was of the mind that this was simply another change in the air, another shift in the earth, and that we should continue our studies. But a brave young mouse, and he's going to turn to Olivia, much like this one. Her name was Danda, and she was the newest of our people. Said that we should protect those that lived among us. What good were our skills if we sat in the clouds and mountains without practice? And I, as an old man, felt ashamed and agreed with her. And so we rode out to the village. We made our stand against this great conqueror, and we fought tooth and nail to protect our home. But sadly, this is not a tale that was to be won. Many of my students were tossed aside, ravaged by claws and teeth, horns and spears. And I faced off against the Black Heart myself. I merely wounded him in our great fight. The earth split, and the sky cracked. But in the end, well, he's gonna turn his broken body to the group. You see what has happened. I was left for dead. But I do not mean to end this on a sad tale, for there were many, due to our efforts, who survived. And I myself have found peace in walking these lands. I hope one day that I can rebuild my home. But until then, I believe it is wise to take a day by day. Because like vanishing dew, a passing apparition, or a sudden flash of lightning that is already gone, that is how you should regard yourselves.
Suddenly, there is a rumble of thunder outside, and the entire room looks heavenwards before snapping back to Tanto, believing almost that he has summoned a great storm upon them.
Well, bit melodramatic, but the sky will do what it wants.
The Hella clears her voice. One day after another, to rebirth and renew. And she raises her drink, wanting to move everyone on before they get too spooked. Thank you, Grandmaster Tanto.
Mhm.
It was a harrowing tale, and I pray such a fate never befalls our blessed valley.
He'll nod. Step down.
There's a sorry.
Sorry.
Go ahead.
Kothar really quick just wants to look around, see if he sees the centaurs.
The centaur who is brewing tea has now finished and laid the cups down rather for Olivia and Canto for when he returns, and he is busy staring really hard into his own mug of mead or ale as he's considering the words that he had heard and the ominous rumblings of the sky above.
Okay, that's it.
Won't someone tell a spooky story now? The pied wagtail, having escorted Tanto back to his seat, has hopped up on the bench. And you get the impression here, each person takes turns to ask for a story. And this young bird has decided that she would like a spooky story to accompany her dinner. And she briefly scans the length of the table, but her eyes keep flicking back to the honored guests. She knows that these people will have the spookiest of stories.
The day was dark on the western vales, as we went in numbers and droves down the hill. Into darkness. Oh, hi, you guys.
What happened when you got down the hills in the droves? And the veil?
We came to face the madness that plagued the village. And the madness we found.
Madness? What terrible madness?
Unspeakable things.
But won't you speak them? Half of the table is now turned to their food and is eating and trying to ignore what's going on at the other end.
There were many young slain at the bottom of the hill in the darkness, and great many tentacles and such things were wrought across the land, and the people did rejoice and wail in their compulsions.
Compulsions. Tentacles. How terrible. Then what happened?
Great heroes appeared. Oh, hi, you guys.
You were the great hero.
Ha ha! Not me!
Okay. Sorry.
I think Kothar pats Ken on the head, just like, okay, this is awful. I'm going to stop. I'm going to take over now. I know not if this story is spooky as you wanted, but I have been told it is a story. It is the story of how I acquired my name. I live over the mountain in a swamp that I know not the name of. In that swamp, my tribe and I, we survive. We do what we have to do. We, in order to keep a band of thieves away from our supplies and coffers made a deal. We said that we would carry their goods through the treacherous swamp and through our lands in order for their discretion. This has been a tradition for some time, longer than my lifetime. One day, they wanted us to do something special for them. They said they had some sort of gift. We regrettably gift. It was not a gift. I don't know why they said it was a gift.
What was it?
They brought us down underground. Deeper than we had ever been. Through the giant roots of a tree. Spiraling down into muck. Large insects roamed through the halls. And we came into a large red chamber. And for my part, that is all I knew, for I was struck on the back of the head, and my eyes went blank. When I awoke, my tribe and I, well, we were bound on our knees in front of an evil-looking mouse man with a curved dagger. He called out in a language I now only understand. And Kothar is going to lean back and just yell at the top of his voice in Infernal. Let the demon lord descend upon this place. It sounds something like
As you finish that phrase, the giant flash of lightning outside shakes the building. You have the feeling the actual building just got struck by lightning as the thunder instantly rumbles and echoes and resonates around this space. The fire in the trough before you flares 10-foot flames of multicolor. And everyone at the table turns very slowly, very fearfully to look at you. The pied wagtail has tumbled to the floor and is staring in utter horror.
Oh no, this will never do.
It's quite the shocking tale.
I didn't do that. Does someone want to go check on that?
From the end of the table where the centaur had been staring into his jug of mead, there is a hacking, choking sound. And he turns the final face at the table to look at you, and in horror, pustules have begun to grow on his face and explode dark ichor. Tentacles spill out in reaching fingers. And everyone at the table, nearly simultaneously, reaches for the ceremonial weapon in front of them and turns, not knowing whether to point at you or the centaur.
Is he in control of his person right now, or is he?
An insight check. Right. Scrat, what would you like to do in this moment?
Look across. Their tentacles did invade their very bodies and their corpses. Things were generally made worse for all. None survived that place. The
Olivia.
heroes were doomed.
Good. Olivia, what are you up to in this moment?
I'm that's not gonna happen to me. He made me tea and and then I'm gonna be racking my brains like, do I have a spell in my book? And I'm just gonna and then I'm gonna check Tonto. That's not gonna happen to you. Then I'm gonna look at my tea.
I hope not.
As Olivia panics, Kitty, what are you doing?
Is this something that Kitty would have seen before? Like, does she recognize what's going on, or is this just like brand new information?
Is Kitty proficient in Arcana?
Probably not. Let me check. That's a strong no.
History?
Let's see. History. Also no. She's good at like being stealthy and hitting things.
All right,
That's
just give
pretty
me
much
a
what she's
flat
got.
D20.
All right.
Just a flat D20.
Let's see. Is that all?
Okay.
Yep. Yeah, no.
The only place you have heard of such things happening are in the stories you were just told. And it seems
Okay.
very much to you like this has possibly just been summoned upon you. But at the same time, part of you is like, that's irrational and crazy, and you're not entirely sure what to think about it.
I feel like she just like continues taking a bite of what she's doing and like puts down her fork just with like a sigh, just like, we were just having a nice feast, and then he has to explode in tentacles every time. And she just kind of grabs her quarterstaff and just kind of like is looking around ready.
The earth begins to shake and shudder, shaking the longhouse violently from side to side, as if it is swaying on the very perches and uprights it stood on. The horror at the end of the table that was formerly a centaur looks, hopefully, pleadingly towards Grandmaster Tanto. And I'd like you all to make a dex save.
Oh.
Not in the book. Not in the book.
All right. Everyone but Olivia, you managed to retain your seating or standing position. Olivia, you are thrown full bodily from the bench down across the floor to hit on the wall as the entire building subsides to one side and a tentacle bursts up through the earth and through the side of the longhouse.
Do I take any damage?
You will take 1d6 bludgeoning.
Oh, good.
That's a full 6 points of damage.
Oh no.
And
Just by
slowly-
insight.
A wooden building?
Yes, it's a wooden building.
Okay.
It has stone hearths and stone chimneys, but the rest of the construction is wooden. The tables and benches slowly begin to slide towards the wall and towards the tiny mouseling that has tumbled there. I'd like everyone to roll initiative just so that we can keep some order. But for now, unless you tell me you're in combat with something, you're not in combat with something.
I'm going to roll that with my luck.
Okay.
Oh. By the way,
nice.
did my insight give me anything on this guy?
What exactly were your insight again? Sorry, remind me.
My insight was 24.
What were you trying to
Just
do?
trying to see like if it is he in control of himself? Is this something
Based on the pleading and it's a weird hopeful look. The hope is for the end. You don't believe the centaur has any control over what is happening to him and is in a great deal of distress.
I also want to see if I have seen anything like this in my travels, or if maybe it's some sort of like magic where because Ken spoke it, it happened, or does that make sense?
Yeah, give me an Arcana check. As you're tumbling across the room with benches and tables falling towards you. Kitty, it's actually your go first. So we'll hop to you and then we'll come back to Olivia's question.
Okay, so we've got Mr. Creepy Tentacle Centaur at the end over there, and tentacles exploding everywhere, and the floor is moving and tilting.
Yeah, the whole building seems to be tilting in one direction. There's a large tentacle that has burst up through the floor, and is riding there. And you have the centaur, who is crippled with pustules and more tentacles because there's never enough tentacles.
Is the tentacle that's burst through, is that like attacking, or is it just kind of like chilling?
At the moment, it is literally just burst through the building. It's very destructive in its wake. You have no impression as to whether it is going to attack you or continue to grow at this moment. Unless
nice. And all of the little prey animals are freaking out.
Yeah, there's a general, everyone is trying to arm themselves and figure out what the hell to do. There's a lot of screaming. The thunder is racking around the building. There is a sense of true chaos within the walls.
Okay. I think Kitty is going to move towards the centaur creature. And does he appear to be like completely in pain, like he's just crippled at the min?
Yeah. Like can you make an athletics or an acrobatics to get across the hall to him as the tables and chairs are sliding towards you and there are people in your way?
No trouble. That is an 18, I think.
Yep. Okay. So you make it across. You have to kind of jump and dodge and weave, but you're more than able to do that with your training.
Cool. And can I? This is probably not a good idea, but can I try and like knock him out?
Yep.
Just like a swift tap with my quarterstaff upside the head.
Yes. Make an attack roll for me, and we'll treat it as a strike to stun.
Okay. Ooh, not great.
All right. So as you swing, the centaur reels back onto its rear legs, and the entire building lurches again, sinking further on that one side, and you miss. And can you make a dex save to stay upright?
I surely can. Let's see.
Okay, you manage it. Your 2 feet go out either side with the bend of the knees to support you as the building lurches to that one side. And next in the order is Kothar, unless there's something else you would like to do.
Nope, that's plenty for now.
Okay. Kothar is going to kind of bewildered at what just happened. Eyes come back into focus. Try to step up to the table and point at the centaur. Dark creature, this is your doing. And he's going to use his hunter's sense.
Okay.
Says choose one creature you can see within 60 feet. You immediately learn whether the creature has any damage immunities, resistances, or vulnerabilities, and what they are.
All right. You know that the centaur is immune to disease and poison, which shocks you considering the apparent state with the pustules and the tentacles. What was the other ones? It was immunities,
resistances, or vulnerabilities.
You believe at this point with your hunter's sense that he may be vulnerable to radiant damage. You don't get the impression of any resistances.
Okay. Since that's his action, if so, the room is tilted towards him, like on the side he's on, correct?
Okay, so you've got a room, square box. It's tilting to this side. He's at this end of the table, so he's slowly sliding this way.
Okay.
And you're down this end of the room at the moment.
Okay. Can I go to the opposite end and see if the balance shifts?
You could charge to the other side of the room if you like.
That's what I want to do, yeah.
Yeah. All right. And you're doing this with the intention of using your full force and strength maybe against that other wall?
Yes.
All right, so yeah, you can use your movement and give me a strength check.
Great strength.
All right. As you collide with the other side of the building, it is very hard and toughened wood, and you make no impression upon it.
Okay. That is actually, as a bonus action, I'm going to mark him with Hunter's Mark.
You focus on your enemy. You narrow in on him, and he is marked. Does your mark manifest in any way, or is it just within yourself?
I think it's just I think it's just in my vision. It's like a blue, like a slightly blue magical outline of his figure.
All right. So there we go. That is how Kothar now sees the centaur and the tentacles. So next up is Tanto.
All right, so friends are attacking this monster, and
You see that Kitty has definitely moved to try and disable it.
Mhm.
And your other friend just ran out of wall.
Olivia is being attacked by one of the tentacles.
Olivia has just tumbled from the bench as a result of the whole building subsiding.
I'm gonna slowly get up off of my seat. I'm gonna say, everyone, I suggest you leave the building. This is going to get a little bit messy. And I'm going to spring into the air really fast, which is surprising given how old I am. And I'm going to throw my quarterstaff up a bit, and I'm going to grab it with my feet. I'm going to come down on one hand and try to take a shot at the centaur, and this is all going to be non-lethal damage. But 28. Oh,
That definitely connects. As you channel the energy you had divined in the field from the nature, and your years and years of training and development of your way, you smack out with your quarterstaff and you bring it square down on the creature's head. There is a small injury that appears, a bloodying injury, and the centaur collapses to the ground, and I was going to say carcass, it's not dead, its body slides towards...
Your mic is gone. It's just still there?
Hello?
Hello? Oh, that's just me. My internet is unstable right now. Sorry.
Okay. And the whole centaur slides towards the subsiding half of the building. Meanwhile, the panicked creatures begin to try and follow the instruction of Tanto and flee through the door. And that will bring us on to Olivia. What was your roll? Sorry.
Olivia,
21.
Olivia is also donated a advantage by Crispy Waffles.
Wonderful. So
Thank
you
you.
use that whenever you're ready to. So with a 21,
Hello?
something in your
Hi, sorry. I connected for a quick second. My bad.
No problem. So you fell the centaur, and he began sliding towards the subsided half of the building. And we're now onto Olivia's turn.
Okay.
If that's okay.
Well, is there any other threats nearby?
There's the tentacle that is down the other side of the building now that you've come to the...
Okay. Can I get there with the rest of my movement?
You could probably get halfway there with the rest of your movement.
Okay. If that's the case, I'm going to hop back on my feet, grab my quarterstaff, and I'm going to use my extra attack, try to hit it with a dart.
Okay.
And I'm just going to pull into my pack, and I'm going to throw it at him. And I believe a dart is just a 1d4.
1d4.
Yeah, 1d4. So 1d20 plus my dex. Sorry, give me 1 sec. Did not put this in. 1d20 plus Ooh, 22 to hit.
That will hit.
24 plus 3. It'll be 5 piercing to the tentacle. Does it go?
So the dart soars through the air, flung through your hand, and it sticks into the tentacle. And then it falls back out. You have the impression that any damage that would have been sustained didn't take. And, my apologies, it is in fact Ken's turn next.
Not like this. Ken will sort of like shuffle up, maybe over towards one of the tentacles, and he's just going to investigate it. He's just going to have a look and see exactly what it's up to.
Okay. Give me the investigation check.
If he
How
has-
close are you getting?
Oh, like right up close. He's curious.
Right up to. Okay. All right. As you approach the tentacle, you see it is covered in some sort of thick green ooze. And it has many tiny suction pads beneath this green ooze. And it very much in your mind resembles the ones that you were describing in your head, only it is much more terrible to see this close up. And I need you to make a wisdom save.
Why does this feel so much like a sanity check?
Does it feel familiar? In this moment, you are compelled to move as far away from the tentacle as you can.
No, not in the book. Not in the book.
With your movement, you kind of have two options. You can go down the far end of the longhouse, or you can go out the door, which is nearby.
Out the door.
All right. You charge out of the door. And what is your passive perception?
16.
Perfect. So you see the valley is alight with fire and the ground torn asunder by a great cataclysmic divide, out of which more tentacles are formed. On the horizon of the mountain, you see an army stood ready. And the entire sky has that kind of amber hue of way too much light in darkness. And a smoke is now surrounding you as the fire from the hearth begins to catch on the ends of the longhouse.
Oof.
Ken hides.
Out in the area you've come to, there is a well behind which you believe you could hide, or there is a wheelbarrow which you believe you could upturn and hide under.
Is there a bucket in the well?
Yes.
I'll jump in the bucket.
All right, you're gonna have to jump in the well. Are you happy to do that?
Yeah, I want to try and hold the rope and jump in the bucket and like sort of.
All right, give me athletics or acrobatics, whichever you're better in.
I am not particularly good at either, but I'll give you some acrobatics. Oh, I'm quite good at acrobatics, it turns out.
So seeing hell on earth unleashed outside, definitely not in the book. You jump and you grab on and you slide down. A few feathers puff out from the friction and you land in the bucket at the bottom. It is very dark and peaceful down here.
Ah.
All right. Olivia, your impression of this situation is that this is definitely not how this feast was meant to go. This is definitely not a normal occurrence. No normal storm could bring this. No story, no single utterance from your friend the Kothar could cause such harrowing invocations. And so this is definitely not good. You can't help but fight that feeling in your stomach that this is because of the stories that you were told, but you can't think of a way that this could be. It's definitely magic, but you don't know how.
Okay. So it's nothing I've seen before.
No, this is, or rather, nothing you've seen on this scale. You've seen people conjure things, you've seen people summon things, and the like, but this is multiple schools of magic.
Right. Okay. Can I?
You're currently prone against that edge of the building, so if you want to stand up, you need to use some food.
Okay. I will stand up. And can I also, let's see, how's that's not like standing up, that's just a movement, that's not an action, right?
That's half your movement. That's
Half my movement. Okay. Now can I like maybe reduce the size of this thing so it's easier to fight, or
you could certainly try.
all right. So I want to make it smaller.
Okay.
Um,
So you're gonna use your spell.
yeah, I'm gonna use my to make it smaller.
All right. Having just witnessed the dart ejected from it, Ken going to inspect it and then running in a fearful manner, which you haven't quite seen from Ken before. You've seen him motivated, but this was very motivated. You cast to reduce this creature, and
I have my little.
Oh, so you take out a vial from your bag, and inside swells this colorful arcanic smoke that you fling, and you really hope that you got the maths right on your alchemy. It collides with the tentacle, and it does in fact begin to reduce smaller and smaller until it is approximately half of its original size. You do, however, feel it is no less threatening now that it is half of its size. There is definitely something terrifying in the nature of this tentacle. And that brings us to the world, who is about to have a round.
The layer action.
The layer action. Down from the hills, a screaming horde descends. Kothar, you hear your name cried out on the lips of some great beast in the darkness. Tanto, you too hear your name called. Summoned to fight. Summoned to take a stand if you are brave enough. Ken, in the bottom of the well, you feel the entire world shaking around you as the water in the well begins to boil, growing hotter and hotter. And I need you to make a Constitution save, please. Okay. You are currently beginning to boil.
Oh dear.
Delicious.
You are unable in this moment to take the reaction that will bring you out of the water, and you're currently in hot soup. Inside, another tentacle breaks forward, and it tears the table in two, fire now spilling out across either side as the trough is torn asunder, and the tentacles turn upon Kitty and Olivia. And I needed this. I was so prepared. All right. Okay.
Oh, Olivia doesn't want to die.
All right, Olivia. The smaller tentacle doesn't look at you. It has no eyes, but it kind of swings its form with a lashing slam. Unfortunately, unless a 12 hits you, you are not hit. Yeah. So it slams down beside you, and you are just able to use your dexterity to hop out of its reach, but it renders a hole in the wall where it collides. The second tentacle, that was a 13 to hit Kitty.
No.
No, perfect. So the second tentacle comes slamming down in much the same fashion, and it actually catches fire as it hits where some of this magical flame had been, and it rears back up, and it seems all the more horrific for it as the ooze and the kind of suckers are now on fire in colorful flame, which burns over its form. And that brings us to the top of the round, which brings us to Kitty.
Okay. Can I look around the room and see if there's anyone left inside who's not panicking and fleeing, like anyone who looks like they're doing magic, or like anyone who looks like they're being nefarious in general.
Give me an insight check.
Okay. Yeah, no. Pretty sure
Alright.
that's not going to do it.
Looking around, it's growing smoky, it's growing darker in here. It's harder to see faces, and there is just this distinct aura of horror and panic. You can't spot anyone who appears to be casting, but you're also not sure. You don't know in this chaos. What else would you like?
Okay. Am I near the door at all?
Yes, you're near the same end of the table that Ken would have been. Oh no, because you moved down, didn't you? You're near the
Yeah.
far door. It would probably take you about 15 feet of movement to get to the door.
Okay, and how close am I to the closest tentacle?
You're probably 15 feet away. It's like the other side of the table from you.
Oh, decisions. I want to run to the tentacle if I can.
Okay, yeah.
Mm-hmm. And was doing the insight check my action, or can I do
free.
some...
You were just looking around. You just
Sweet.
looked around really quick, so.
I want to get right up in its business. And can I lick it?
You certainly can. Just so you know, like, it is a difficult terrain as you're kind of going uphill over tables, so we'll take all of your movement to get there, but it's only 15 feet, if you see what I mean.
That's cool. I can do that.
So you get across, and you reach out with your sandpapery tabaxi tongue, and you lick it. I need you to make a Constitution save and a Wisdom save, please.
Seems right. All right. Let's see. Oh, okay. Con save, pretty good. And wisdom is a medium.
All right. So you feel the pang of anxiety just go down your throat in a kind of an acidic bubble and into the pit of your stomach, churning you up. You know this isn't a good place to be, but you don't feel compelled to run. And as you taste the green ooze, it clings to your tongue. It's kind of like peanut butter stuck to the roof of your mouth, and you feel almost as if you're choking, and the fire is growing intense around you. You have an idea that it wasn't probably a good idea to lick this thing, and that you're in a very dangerous situation. But other than that, there are no currently ill harm effects on you.
Okay. Can I use my feline agility to double my speed and use the rest of it to get as close to outside as possible?
Yes, you can do that.
I would very much like to leave.
You're probably within 5 feet of the door. You're really throwing yourself out of there, so that's
awesome.
Fine.
All right. I think that's it for now.
Okay, that brings us to Kothar.
Okay, so how close is that tentacle to me?
So you have the smaller one, which is kind of in the middle of the table, and you have the larger one, which is opposite Kitty.
Okay.
The one in the middle of the table is closer to you.
Okay, and I'm at like basically the back corner of the room opposite the door?
Yes.
Okay. Really quick so I don't forget. So that voice that I heard, what did it say to me?
It called you out by name to face it if you weren't afraid.
Okay. Let's go through what to do. I guess I haven't really seen much damage these things, so I guess I'm gonna follow my companions out the door.
Okay.
And yeah, I'll use how much movement I have to get out that way.
I'll say as it's difficult terrain, how much movement do you have? 30 feet?
30, I believe. Let me check. Yes, 30.
All right. Would you like to use your action to dash, or do you just want to get as far as you can with your movement and then do a different action?
I'll dash.
All right. So using your action to dash, you can get fully outside of this building.
Okay.
And you see this scene of a valley wrought with hell. There's tentacles burst from the earth, there's fire, there's madness of an army descending. And you actually cannot see Ken anywhere.
Dang bird done flown off somewhere. How close is that? How close is that army?
You have the feeling it is probably going to be able to reach you guys in a minute, 2 minutes. It's descending really quickly down this mountainside, unnaturally quickly as the smoke is building.
Okay. Can I look back at the building I just came out of?
Yep.
Is it like lumberjawed in any way, or is it just does it look normal from the outside?
From the outside, it literally looks as if it's about to topple over on the one side that you just exited from, and there is a giant tentacle that's definitely
Okay.
ripped a hole in the ceiling. There is no safe haven in this valley anymore.
Okay. Well, I'm just going to swear in Draconic, and I guess, do I have any movement left?
No, you've used all
No.
of it.
Okay. That's my turn.
And that brings us to Tanto. You're currently muted.
Do I recognize that voice?
You definitely do recognize that voice. That is the voice of Korvac from your story. Whether he was real or imagined, it is his voice.
Is the tea ready, by the way?
The tea was ready, yes. The tea was there. It's currently tumbled down on the floor beside you in a nice, pleasing china smash, however.
I want to try to get the tea before it falls over.
Unfortunately, the tea is already toppled.
Oh.
You have been a busy portal, sorry. The tea is long lost to the floor.
I'm just gonna sigh. Well. I'm going to start to slowly make my way out the door. And once I am, I'm just gonna shout over. It's like, you always did have a flair for the dramatic. I know you can hear me. Why don't you come and say hello in person, old friend?
There's a laughter that rings around the valley in a soul-shaking irony. And you need to make a wisdom save.
Ooh.
Chorus, do you have a nat 1 by any chance? Do I remember
Yes,
that
but
you-
can I use my luck to just get the thing?
No, unfortunately, you can't overrule my nat 1s. And in this moment, Tanto, the Grand Master, feels the greatest fear he has ever felt. It shakes him to his core, and it causes him to turtle up and disappear inside his half-broken shell, sliding across the lopsided building and against the wall.
Like, thunk.
And for the rest of the round, you are paralyzed in fear as chaos reigns around you.
Okay.
Which brings us to Ken.
Well, Ken is obviously going to try and extricate himself from the well. Also, thank you very much to Little Pooh Bear, who donates £10. Would that be a friend of yours, Leah?
I think it's very possible that might be.
Yeah, I think this is not for anything that is going to happen, but more for the licking of the tentacle that happened recently, which is
But
awesome.
if Little Pooh Bear is still watching, they can choose to make things better or worse for the party. Just pop it in chat and let us know, and I will oblige your wishes, Little Pooh Bear.
If that is my friend, please don't make it worse.
Oh, you
please.
sweet summer child. Sweet summer child. Okay, so Ken's going to try and pull himself out of this boiling water.
All right, so that would be an athletics check, please. You begin to climb. It is not graceful, it is not comfortable, it is not easy, but it is warm down here and getting warmer. And you're still not sure if it's better outside, but you don't want to boil alive. So you do take most of your turn to climb out of the well. I will say you have bonus action and probably about 10 feet of movement when you get to the top.
Okay, so I will dash 10 feet away from the well and just try and hide in some shadow somewhere.
All right. You dash. The nearest shadows, you have a choice of the wheelbarrow I mentioned before or under the longhouse. It looks very shadowy under there.
I will look at the shadows. Is there any way I could just like lurk somewhere where people can't see me? Like not necessarily hidden as such, but just
You
like.
can probably hide the other side of the well. There's a lot of smoke around here.
Yeah, okay, I'll just do that. I'm trying to go like stealth mode. You know.
Yep, that's fine. Alright, so you are considered hidden. Would you like to roll your stealth just in case anyone decides to try and perceive in the future? Perfect.
Ooh.
You are the knight. You are the shadow within the shadow. You are unseeable for the most part.
Black wings.
Black rings. And that brings us to Olivia.
Excuse me. So I missed a little bit of what happened.
Okay, so Kothar has booked it out the door. Ken disappeared out the door last turn. Tanto is hiding in his shell, having heard something shout to him and having tried to call back, and there being this maniacal laughter. Kitty is on her way out the door also, having licked a tentacle, and that is where we are at. Everyone is trying to flee at this point, including the people that were in this place. You do see Hella is armed and is kind of torn between the tentacle and getting people out the door. That's all she's been doing, is trying to get everyone out.
Okay.
Because the building is not safe.
Can I go to Tonto and try to coax him out of his shell so I can get him out with everyone?
Yep, so if you move along the wall, probably using it for support, as the building has a significant lean now, and he's right there in his shell, how would you like to try and coax him out?
So I'm gonna, Tonto, it's okay. It's okay. We gotta get out of here. And I don't want to leave without you. So you gotta come out of there, and you can be brave. You're very, very brave. And you can do this. So come with me, please. Because I need you to come with me so I can be brave too.
Chorus, for Tanto, can you please roll another wisdom save?
Okay.
And you will have advantage thanks to Olivia's kind words.
Yay. 24.
Perfect. Reminding you very much of your brave friend Danda, who fought with you the last time you faced such a foe. Olivia's wise and kind words coax you out of your shell, and you think you can take an action to move with her if she leaves this building now.
It's like, forgive me. Even in my old age, it seems that I can let my fear get the better of me.
It happens to everyone. And so I'll take his shell like I did before and start leading him out.
All right. And thanks to Tanto's movement, his speed is going to get you out that door. On your own, you wouldn't have been able to do it, but because he's moving, you can move with him and you're out the door. Yay. Which means everyone is currently out of the building, which is good news-ish, as the entire thing subsides fully, cracks and crumbles, and I need everyone except Ken to make a dex save. Kitty, you're still in the doorway, so this dex save for you will be to try and leap from the building before it crashes over on you.
No problem.
Oof.
I'm gonna use my natural 20 if I can.
Okay, so normally I think how it works in Scratch games is you call it before. For the sake of this game, we'll say you can do the
Right,
roll,
fair.
and then if you want to use it, you can use it. That's fine with me. It's a one shot.
I'll take the bad
So-
roll. Let's just do this.
You sure? Yeah, I will let you use your. Yeah, okay. That is absolutely fine. All right. So, Kothar and Tanto. Kothar, you leap to the other side of the well to put something between you and this collapsing building. There, you bump into something. You don't know what. There is chaos happening. It's dark. It's steamy, but you are safe and you're away as a great boom of the building collapses, Tanto, you actually are in your shell, and as you're running, your legs and your flippers retract, and you slide across the sludge of the ground where the ooze of the tentacles has begun seeping across the earth, and you get some nice aquaplaning action, and you glide away. Olivia, however, is left as the building collapses over her.
Can I try to do anything? Because she was nearby me.
Reaction.
Yes, I do.
What is your reaction action?
Well, my reaction,
So let me rephrase. Do you have an ability that gives you a reaction action?
well, I've got, I don't think I do. Thinking about maybe using my open hand technique, but that's only if I do flurry of blows, so I could push her up to 15 feet, but that's not going to work, I don't think. I don't have.
I will let you make a difficult dexterity check to see if you can grab her as you try and use your reaction to save dexterously. As she is holding on to you, I will let you.
Okay. Saving throw or check?
Saving throw.
Okay.
All right. So with an 18, you manage to tug onto Olivia as you contract, and you manage to drag her most of the way free, and you do significantly reduce the damage she was about to take. However, Olivia, you are pinned under some of the debris from the falling longhouse.
It's like I grab her with my my turtle mouth by the pants and just like.
All right. I'll roll that damage for you in a second, Olivia. Kitty, you are swallowed by the falling building. The benches, the table, the fire, the stone of the hearth, the various objects come rattling, descending upon you. And you take... Oh, I'm going to roll real dice. I don't want to roll 20 dice. I like the sound of real ones more.
Real dice are better.
All right.
That's why we all buy them.
You take
them. I keep buying them.
27 points of bludgeoning, piercing, and fire damage. If you have resistances to any of those, let me know and I'll tell you what's reduced.
Relevant knowledge. Little Pooh Bear said that she would like good things, and Kegzilla donated 500 bits. He just says dicey shenanigans, so I guess that's chaos. And Ace Tachyon donates 500 bits for good things. I think he said good things for Kitty. I will remind you though, guys. Unfortunately, bits don't go on the donation tracker thing, and I will have to wait till the end of the month to donate them to charity. So I'm preferring donations today for the charity thing, just to make things easier, and because the charities didn't help me with the donation things. Thank you.
Okay, so I do have slow fall, but I don't think that'll help me because that's only when I take falling damage.
Yeah, you didn't take falling damage. Everything caused falling damage to you.
I thought so, but
so much fall.
Yeah, no. I'm just hit real bad.
Really bad. And in this moment, as the building has crashed down, the lightning begins to rain from the sky, along with a thick and heavy and hot rain. But there is a turn in the air. A cool breeze rushes past Kothar and the hiding Ken, and you see appear before you in the burning flower field a line of soldiers, a front line, an army with spears and bows, small mouse folk, tall tabaxi, a centaur in gleaming armor. They have a strange quality to them. They're slightly ethereal, slightly see-through, but it gives you in your chest a pang of hope, even as you see your friends looking back, lost to the crashing of the building behind you. And that brings us to the top of the round, which is Kitty.
Right. I would like to get out of my impromptu burial situation, if possible.
Okay, so I think we are going to need an investigation or a survival to see if you can find a way out.
Okay, let's see. I will do a survival if I can then. Wow.
Unfortunately, your entire world is pain and smoke, and you are currently choking and pinned, and you cannot figure out a way out of this mess. You are trapped under this building. You could use a free action, however, to call out to your friends to let them know you are at least alive.
I would very much like to do that. I call out, if it's not too much trouble, I'm a bit stuck under here. Just very calmly.
It's a very
Statement.
calm old woman cat. If you're not too busy.
Someone give Grandma a hand.
Okay, and that brings us to Kothar.
Okay. So you said I slammed up against something and I didn't see what it was.
Yep, behind the well. There's something next to you behind the well. You have no idea what it is.
Okay. I'm just gonna get up and because I heard Kitty call out, I'm gonna go and see if I can extricate her from the fallen house.
So you will use your movement to get back to the fallen house. And how would you like to try and get to Kitty?
Let's see. So did the house kind of crumbled and on her basically?
Yeah, it kind of fell over and then kind of imploded.
Okay.
In fire and tentacles and
Can I use an investigation check to see if I can find any way of looking some kind of central path through there?
Yep, that sounds good to me. Give me an investigation check.
So there's my investigation check. But because I have the investigator feat, I get to double my proficiency bonus.
Yes, you do.
But I don't know how to put that in there.
So it'd just be plus another 4, so bring it up to 13.
Yeah.
Is that right? What is your proficiency? Is it?
Oh no, sorry, it's plus 3.
Plus 3.
'cause I
Okay,
have
so
plus one
sorry,
done.
that's 12. Perfect. So looking around, you can not see an easy way for you to get in, but you believe if you can clear some of the rubble, you might have a chance of getting to her. You're going to need to kind of leverage things out of the way. But you do know the fire and the smoke is probably the biggest hazard if she is alive right now.
Okay. So can I do that? Can I just use my strength to try to leverage something out of the way and see if I can clear a path for her?
Yeah, are you going to use a weapon or something as your leverage? Or?
I guess so. I guess I can use one of my scimitars to leverage a block of wood or something out of the way.
Yep. All right, then give me some 2 strength checks.
Strength.
So say you're going to use your action and bonus action to just.
Yes.
All right. So the first one, you stick your sword in to try and anchor something away, and it kind of slips and judders, threatening to almost cut you as it slips. And you kind of rebolster yourself and you angle it and you manage to move away a large portion of frame. And you believe it's going to be enough for you to kind of pull Kitty out, and you start to do that. Kitty, on your next go, you will be able to free yourself. And for the most part, Kothar, mission is successful, pending no further drama.
Of course.
Okay.
Okay, yeah, it's our turn.
Perfect. That brings us on to Tanto.
All right, I'm going to try to get Olivia out from under the boards and stone that she is under right now.
Okay.
I'm just gonna try to lift it off.
All right. Again, if you'd like to make strength checks for me.
Okay. Can I do athletics since I'm just trying to pull it off of her?
Yeah, sure. Yep.
23. You just see the old man just kind of bend over and just tap it with one claw, just go ding, and just
Show off.
So Kothar is heaving away and leveraging and using might and mind, and then the turtle comes by and he uses his claw, and very much like that, the plank of wood that had been pinning Olivia's poor little leg beneath the building is moved. It's still a precarious position, but Olivia, you are free from the wood. Do you have a bonus action or an action, or sorry, additional movement you'd like to take?
Is anybody else pinned right now?
Nope, no one is pinned.
Right. I'm just gonna pat Olivia on the shoulder, help her up, and start to go over to Kothar. It's like, well, apparently he knows you as well. What did you do to get under his skin?
I ate his skin.
Interesting. I took his eye. Sure, he's still very upset about that.
Ooh, what did it taste like?
Oh, I didn't taste it.
Why not? It's the remnants of your foe.
Wow,
Nutrient sustenance.
I'm a vegetarian, sir.
As this conversation is going on, Ken, in the previous round, you were bumped into by the heavy form of Kothar coming around the well before he dashed back towards the collapsed building. In front of you, you see the ethereal front line, and beyond that, the armies descending from the mountains. The sky is beginning to rain. There's still a great deal of lightning. There's fire and smoke. And tentacles. Always tentacles.
Thank you very much to Ace Tachyon, who donates £10 towards the donation track. And Ace Tachyon's very familiar with the donation thing we do here, so thank you.
It's your turn, Ken.
Ken, yes, well, Ken,
That's
he,
you.
that is me, yes, Ken Koo. He's still being the knight right now, isn't he? And as everything else is coming along, he knows how this story ends, and they asked for a spooky story, and this is only the beginning. So he's going to probably try and sneak back towards the group that seem able, perhaps near that Grandmaster Tanto.
Okay. So Ken, you are gonna sneak back under the cover of smoke and smog. And you find yourself back next to the collapsed longhouse where Kitty and Olivia have just been freed from the rubble.
I'm not going to help, I'm going to stay hidden.
You're gonna just stay hidden? Perfect. Perfect. Would you like to roll another stealth check just to make sure your movement through the night?
Ooh. Clumsy
Clumsy.
for him.
And that brings us to Olivia.
So, how much damage did I take?
We'll say 3 points of damage. We'll take the average on a d6. It wasn't very much thanks to Tanto's quick reaction. And you are unpinned and stood back up also thanks to Tanto.
Okay. And I am going to thank you so much, Tanto. Thank you. Okay. Nothing's broken. And okay, so we need to get out of here. Because we need to get out of here. Are we fight? We're not fighting anything, right? Not yet.
Not currently, apart from there are still 2 tentacles, one slightly smaller and one a lot larger in the house behind you. There are several in the field. There's an army descending, but currently nothing appears to be trying to hit you apart from a giant building.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know what to do other than thank Tanto profusely for saving my life and from the falling building.
You and Kitty, as 2 of the last people in the building, do know that Hella was still in the building. But as far as you know, everyone else got out, and they're currently screaming and running around the village. It's just utter mayhem everywhere.
Okay, so can we?
Oh, and the centaur would have been still in there as well.
Okay. Oh, Hella's still in the building. We should try to save her. Can I kind of go through the rubble because I have, mouse-like nimbleness? Can I go through the rubble and see if I can find her?
Yeah, give me firstly, let's do an athletics or an acrobatics so you can scramble over it to try and find one of the open windows on the other side of the building to peer in. There's a lot of fire and things to avoid. Alright, it is a difficult climb. The wood is very hot beneath your feet. And generally it's not a very pleasant experience and you can't get very high. Give me investigation. All right, even from there, you can you can notice that you can't hear any movement from within beyond the kind of squelching and the manipulation of the tentacles. You can't see anyone. You can just, there's just the flames and the tentacles, and everything else inside is very still and very quiet.
Okay. So I'll go back and I'll say, I can't hear anything and I can't see anyone. I hope Hella got out. And poor Mr. Centaur, I hope he's okay too.
All right, and for the moment, I'm going to pull you out of initiative so you can take some time to respond and take stock and figure out what you're going to do in this scene. But be aware, you have 2 minutes of real time to decide before that army is going to hit.
Okay,
Kothar
this is dodgy as heck.
Yes. I think Kothar is going to, wedge the thing out so Kitty can get out. And then
Thank you.
And then he's going to say, don't worry about the people in the building. We need to prepare. That army will be here in moments. Is there some sort of trap we can lay?
I don't think that a trap will be helpful against that many people. And I think we might have to do something else. Will you help me get this person out of this house briefly? You're strong.
So just in the shadows, can Kenku just snip the buds, the rosary thing around him? So can he just take his beak and just snip that off? He's starting to suspect everything on him is drugged.
Okay. As you slowly strip off, this is seeming very familiar. That was like last game you were stripping, this game you're stripping.
Yeah, it's feet.
Down.
You give me let's see. As you're experimenting, suspecting everything is covered in hallucinogenics, drugs, some weird magic that is painting your mind, give me a wisdom check or an intelligence check, whichever you prefer.
So an insight check?
Sure. Yeah. Sure. You know yourself.
No. I am not very wisdomous today.
Alright, you are just frantic trying to figure out how you can escape this nightmare that is your life right now. Having removed pretty much everything by the end of the experimentation, you decide it probably wasn't the various accoutrements you had on. It was definitely something outside of you in nature that was causing the effect. And you regret very much the story you chose to tell, even though it was kind of spooky as you were asked for.
I think at this point, Kitty is just like, this is too much of a coincidence. She doesn't believe in coincidences, and she thinks that someone is up to some serious shenanigans. So I don't know exactly what the mechanics of this would be, but she thinks that someone's summoned this or made this happen, as opposed to she thinks there's a trickster somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
Can I do something to see? I don't know what that would be, investigation, to look around to
investigation? Yeah.
Yep. All right, come on, do better this time. Okay, it's not bad.
All right. Looking around, you can see no one person, not even two people, even three people who are actively stood casting a spell, who are actively watching the scene. As much as you can tell, everyone who is around you is in action. They are fleeing, they are hiding, they are taking up arms to join the front line. So you can't identify a source. The fire behind you in the longhouse, the multi-flamed, is now consuming the tentacles, consuming the whole building. It burns in purples and greens and reds. Much like when you're tempering a blade, it seems to take on those varying shifting oil slick colors as it consumes that building. And you are pleased to be out as your familiar comes to comfort you.
Okay.
I'm going to dig through the rubble to see if I can find this hedgehog. See if she got out.
Okay.
Like I said, I was helping you.
The army has arrived, and the sounds of battle begin as they fight the ethereal front line that are gathered up, the mouse guard and the centaurs. And there is the sound of a massacre, bloody and violent. You can do your athletics to dig out and see if you can find Hella inside the building.
22.
All right, you dig through. There is a large charred corpse of a centaur with blackened pustules that you must push past as the building is rapidly being consumed. You have to find the hedgehog.
Say, everyone, come close. These people need to be left out of the valley safely. These friends of ours who have appeared will give us some time, but
Thank you guys.
right now we need to think about the villagers. I will be staying to help, but I suggest those of you that wish to leave, leave. Olivia?
I'm not leaving. I'm staying with you. I'm brave. Just like you, I'm brave.
Olivia, make me a charisma save, please.
I'm rolling terribly today.
Right. You say what you say, and very much the way you said it. Inside, you're not feeling that brave. You remember the beautiful flower meadow that I've been here before, and you feel another fresh, cool breeze with the floral smell come past you, and it's just enough to bolster you in this moment. But you kind of wish you had more strength. You wish you had a better answer than the one that you have.
Tana's gonna smile. He's gonna crane his long neck down at her. It's like, I know that you're brave. You helped me in my fear, and for that I thank you. And he's gonna take his staff, which is clothed in like these small little gourd shells at the top. It's very old and very well cared for. He's going to take it and says, take this with you. I want you to see another sunrise. Promise me that you'll be brave and help these people leave.
I promise. But I don't want to leave you.
It's all right. Maybe we'll meet again. Maybe this is the end of my journey, but for you, your journey's just begun.
Okay. I'll be brave and I'll lead the people out for you.
He cranes down and he gives you a hug. It's like, I was blessed to know you, Olivia.
I'm blessed to know you too.
And he's gonna start walking. He's gonna bend over and pick up a large stick that he can find, and he's sort of like large quarterstaff shaped thing, but he's gonna turn to the rest of the group and say, "I will not fault you if you do leave. These people need help, and I doubt this is a fight that we can win."
Kothar kind of.
Sorry, you go ahead.
Kothar, excuse me, unsheaths his longbow from his back and is like, "I'm not going anywhere. I am going to banish these unnatural aberrations from this land, as is my vow."
As the breeze passes Kothar in this moment, that familiar stank of green and floral on it, you look to the horizon and you see far too clearly the face of your Minotaur enemy, far too clearly the face of the mouse, the vicious demon that had hidden in that small form, and they raise their weapons. And you hear in the back of your mind the words that Ken had uttered before, that this was not in the book. And slowly, lights begin to shimmer across you, the holographic glitter, the magic of the field. And all of you experience this. And again, the words over and over from Ken, that this is not in the book. And the ethereal army glows too with the rainbow, which cuts through the storm. And you are bolstered in this moment of bravery as you face down a hellish army. What are you going to do?
I'm going to look at Tonto by my side and say, "What kind of damage can you do with those clawless hooves? I don't know what to call those."
He's gonna smile up at you. His form is shaking from his old age, and he's going to say, "Well, I have a few tricks up my sleeve." He's gonna slam his foot onto the stone work below. It causes like a little crack, doof, under it. It'll buy us enough time, I think.
Thank you very much to Rebex, who donates £5, putting us only £9 away from our next goal and a viewer decision. We have around half an hour left, so it might happen this stream.
Okay, so Kothar is going to.
Sorry, 1 second. Did the £5 have any effect that I need to know about?
Rebex hasn't thrown anything onto it now.
Okay, Rebecca, let us know if it does.
Nat 20 to Cora, sorry.
Okay.
Nat 20. There she is.
Thank you.
Or he is, or they is.
I'm sorry, please continue, Kothar.
Kothar is going to shout, "Karshaj Kothar! Come, demon. You shout of your own doom." And he's going to charge forward
All right.
towards the spectral army.
All right, so you make your way to the front line, and your passage over this terrain is easier than any terrain you have run across. Your footfalls are light. The fire and the smoke make no barrier for you as you weave through, and you pass through the spectral front line that fights the enemy, and you stand face to face with a hellish creature that you know is your enemy.
As I'm running there, can I take a quick action, cast a spell?
Sure.
Okay, I'm going to cast Long Strider, which just means I have 10 more feet of movement.
All right. This brings you straight up. You dodge blades and arrows, fire and lightning, and you come to stand face to face with your enemy. And that is where we will end your turn.
Relevant information. Israel donates £10. Thank you very much, Israel. He requests 2 bad things, and this does push us over our viewer decision. So what would you like the viewer decision to be? We'll have to make it a quick poll.
Viewer decision. Name me one bad thing that comes upon this field. And yes, that is what we will do for that viewer decision. Get it in quickly. Anything you wish, anything your imaginations might conjure from dark and grisly stories.
That's what we need because it's all going so well so far.
And the bad thing that will happen is Kothar's enemy is going to have an extra attack right now to strike at him.
Fun. Good stuff. Good stuff.
It's so fun when the Chaos Chorus isn't fighting you and it's going against someone else.
Oh, God.
Okay. So, does a 22 hit you?
Let me see. Yes, it does.
All right. And it does. Where's the attack damage?
Man, I've only got one arm, guys. Don't do that. No. What's this?
Ooh.
That's 15 plus. That's 19 points of damage on the first attack.
Okay.
And the second attack, that's a 16 to hit.
16 is my armor class.
Okay, so remind me, does that hit or does that miss? I can never remember on an armor.
That hits. That
That's a
hits.
hit. Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
That's the one I always get wrong. 7 plus 5 is 12 plus 4 is 16. So that's 16 plus a 19 is 25, 35 points of damage.
Whew. Okay.
And that is piercing damage, in case it makes a difference. As he brings down his, or rather, he swings back his blade and just goes to basically just like stab you through the middle.
I've cut off the viewer decision, guys. We had so many votes. Like, I'm just gonna take this.
Yeah, just take like the first 5.
Yeah, I've just taken a handful.
Perfect. Viewers, you are evil. I like it. It makes me feel less evil when you do horrible things. Perfect. So you take a significant amount of damage as your enemy's blade, lit with arcane fire, stabs through you in a very nasty piercing attack. Which brings us on to Tanto. I'm just picking up the old initiative in case anyone's wondering what's going on.
All right. Is the person Kothar is fighting Korvac?
Kothar is currently fighting a demon mouse thing.
Okay. Do I see Korvac anywhere?
Yes. In your inspired breeze perception, you can make out your enemy in the heart of this field, in the heart of this battle.
I'm gonna shout out to him just walking, just very slowly, just Serene is just gonna say, I was wondering when you would come back for a rematch. Tell me, did you have to bring all these people with you?
Tanto, you are foolish to face me again.
I am. But we are people.
Yes, and your people fell last time, didn't they?
As did yours, if I do recall.
But we return. We rise. You are half the man you were.
He's going to turn his gaze back to Olivia, to Kenku, to Kit, to Kitty, and to Kothar. It's like, I've had help along the way, but you're still the same dark, bitter person that you were years ago. When will you learn that the more you take, the less you have?
I am here to write the new ending of our story. I will improve upon the last one. I will take your life after the others.
You do not understand life, old friend.
No,
There is no ending to it. There's merely another chapter.
you're right. A new beginning for this conqueror. And he raises his arms, and as he does so, the ground, what limited turf there is, erupts as insects pour forth from the earth. Some fly on large wings, others crawl on 8 legs. And generally, the plagues have arrived. I actually have a phobia of bees, so I don't want to describe it really graphically, but just add in lots of horrible sounds, clickering, and it's a horrible place out there as the hell swarms erupt. Tanto, you have made your way across the battlefield, correct? Are you crossing through the front line?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I would like you to make a dexterity save, please.
Okay.
What did you roll? On the wrong screen. Okay, perfect. You, much like Kothar before you, seem to just dodge every attack. There are serious attacks that are made against you from these giant insects that have erupted. But they seem to phase past you as you're in this Zen zone, this place where you must do what has to be done to save your good friend Olivia and to save these people as you saved people before. And you are probably about 15 feet away now from your gravest of enemies. And that will bring us to Ken's turn.
Ken is looking for Hella and the blue jay, blue tit thing bird.
The pied wagtail.
That's one.
All right. To look for Hella, you would need to be looking through the rubble. The pied wagtail did get out, and you do know that.
Is Hella definitely dead?
It seems very likely with the state of the building.
I'll be looking for the pied wagtail then.
All right, you find her searching through one of the carts that came down from the mountain. She's pulling hunks of herbs aside, furs, all of the kind of scavenged items, and she is searching for something in this cart.
Okay, I will sneak up behind her.
She is unaware of your presence.
Excellent. I'm going to stab her in the back.
Okay. Make your attack roll.
I love it. A 24, but I am an assassin, so it's an automatic crit.
Automatic crit.
Nice.
Your sword slices straight into her back through the feathers and the ribcage and the plumage and out the other side. She kind of gasps and she tries to stumble and get away. And she looks back. Was it you? Was it you?
Was it you? Was it you?
I was looking for a weapon to fight. I was going to be brave. It was you and your stories. And she's slowly bleeding out on this muddy field.
So Ken doesn't really have the faculty for emoting, but he feels pretty bad because he made some connections in his head and he figured that it was either Hella or her that were causing all of these things. And now that she's bleeding out on the ground and everything hasn't stopped, he's like, ah.
Burb.
But you know, he'll make it short. If she's at his mercy, he'll just.
Yeah, you can end her if you would like.
Yeah, I mean, you know, give her the a quick death.
So you reach across with one of your concealed daggers and you just end it nice and quickly for the creature, and life just drains from her eyes. And the smoke around you.
Can I look around for anyone else who might be causing all of this stuff?
Sure, give me a perception. You know what? No, fuck it. Give me, give me an intelligence or a wisdom save, because we're coming to the end of the stream. We'll speed up the process a tiny bit.
A 14.
Okay. You hear her words ring in your head. It was your story that caused this.
Mm-hmm.
And you hear your words ring in your head that this wasn't in the book. And slowly your brain is putting together that you in some way have caused what's happened here, that you in some way have some power here in what is brought and what is created. But you also just murdered a burb, and it hurts a lot that you did that she was willing to fight. And that is where we will leave Ken in this moment. As the horrible rain comes down and it's darkness and insects and hell. Which brings us to Olivia's turn. Olivia, where you're stood, you may have heard the cries of the bird as she was slaughtered. But you would also be aware of Kothar and Tanto charging off to face their enemies in the field and your last conversation with them.
Okay, so because I promised Tanto that I would start getting the people out, I'm going to start rounding up everybody I see, and I'm holding on to his staff and puffing up my chest. I'm gonna be brave, and I'm gonna get all the people out. So and I start talking to the people. Let's be brave, and we can make it to the mountain and get out. So that's, yeah, I'm just rounding up the people, everybody that I can find that is not fighting, or you know.
You do a pretty reasonable job, and a few people will join you to help you, and you're loading up the carts that have only just returned from the mountains with people, and start ferrying them towards the rear of the valley, away from the chaos and hell. Can you give me just a quick dex check? We'll just see how you do against a couple of random attacks that would have happened as you're doing this. Okay. You are scratched pretty violently by an insect on the way past, and it does 2 points of damage to you. But for the most part, you are able to fight as best you can to get people on these carts and get people moving out. Which brings us to the top of the time, which is Kitty.
Okay, so Kitty is thinking about how these stories came true, and knowing that she doesn't really have much else to do, she just starts telling a story to no one, just out loud. She says, once upon a time, there was a weirdly zen little village where stories started to come true and everything was horrible, but then suddenly everything was really nice and all of the bad things went away, and there was a beautiful tabaxi grandma Kitty, and everyone left her alone and gave her lots of fish to eat. The end.
As you say this, the skies begin to rain ever heavier than before. And some of the fires begin to be quenched around you. But you hear the laughter, the menacing laughter of the enemies in the field as they face their greatest foes in Kothar and Tanto. And you feel bolstered by what you've just done. You truly believe what you've done will come to pass. However, it's not happening as quickly as you would like. And there's definitely no fish here, and you are slightly singed, and you are still battered and bruised, and you have a choice to make as to what you would like to do with the rest of your time.
Okay. Kitty's gonna just yell at the sky, well, I tried. That could have gone better. And then just start running towards the battle, just like cat screaming.
Cat fury.
Just like real annoyed.
All right. And you will make it to that ethereal front line as it's savaging the various grim and ghastly things it is fighting. Make a quick dex save.
Sure. Let's see.
All right. You become tangled in tentacles. And that you are considered grappled for the next turn. All right. That brings us to Kitty Kothar. you face your demon mouse foe.
Okay.
It's just stabbed you rather significantly.
Okay. I'm going to draw my 2 scimitars and just start chanting, Kothar, 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 and take 2 strikes at him.
All right, hit me with your best shot. Go. That's the opposite of best shot. Okay. Unfortunately, both of those miss. You swing, and your enemy is swift of foot, and the second glances off of its armor, and the laughter just echoes around you. You're being taunted. You're being taunted in infernal, in hellish dark words that you will fail here on this field. That you are nothing but a weak and pathetic reptile of cold and shallow blood, and that your story will never be told.
Failure. You're the one who failed before. And with my bonus action, I am going to use Hungry Jaws and lunge at him and try to take a hunk out of him.
Do it.
Okay. So it is a bite. Sorry.
Okay.
So it's 1 plus. Oh, it's my strength. So it's. Nope. Sorry, I don't know how to do roll 20 rolling.
I did for you. But if you put it in double square brackets, it'll
Okay.
roll for you. Okay, so that's a 23. So that will hit. That's a solid
23.
bite. How much damage?
Okay. And it does. It's a D6 plus my strike modifier, so D6 plus 2.
All right, and that's 7.
Okay.
All right, so you clamp your jaws onto this creature's arm, and you sink your teeth in as hard as you can. And it does some. You feel, it's a solid bite, and then you spit it out probably as quickly as you can because it probably tastes disgusting.
Actually, I think. Well, I gain temporary hit points equal to my con modifier.
Okay.
One thing I can do, so I gain 4 hit points. And I take it and chew it a bit, and like spicy, fiery. It tastes as good as last time.
I like it.
And that's it.
Tanto, you stand 15 feet from your foe. Korvac, the great Minotaur with his glaive.
I'm going to close my eyes, breathe in, and Tanto is going to try to look within himself, see if there's anything that he can discern about his foe, anything about the situation.
Okay.
I want to use my nat 20 on this insight.
Okay.
To see if there's hey, maybe he's just on the off chance that hey, maybe this is all in his head, or maybe he brought this down on them.
You believe this is very real.
Mm-hmm.
You believe that you did in fact bring this upon this place in your great telling of your story. You believe this is a chance to once again prove yourself.
Mm-hmm.
There is a chance that you can change what is happening here.
Mm-hmm.
But you have to act very quickly because this is a real threat, and if this Minotaur slices into you, it will have real consequences.
I'm going to open my eyes and I'm going to look at him and says, this place seems to resonate with stories. And the story I've always told in the back of my mind is that one day I would find you and make you answer for the crimes that you committed against my family. But over the years, I've set aside that anger. It poisons and does nothing for me except wound my soul. Maybe this story will be different this time, and I'm going to start walking towards him.
Mm-hmm.
I will not fight you. Instead, I hope that this story ends with forgiveness. I hope this ends with light, and I hope this ends with hope as well. I forgive you, old friend. And I hope we can be as we once were. He's going to walk up to him. He's going to embrace him.
All right. That brings us to Olivia's turn.
Mhm.
Oh.
Oh, sorry, Ken's turn. I keep skipping Ken. I'm really sorry. Garrett, what is Ken up to?
Ken he's gonna hop onto the cart where she was searching, and he's gonna be thinking and thinking and thinking, and he's gonna be thinking, power, stories, power. So he's thinking very hard about the stories and if they'll come true, much like Kitty did. He didn't hear that, but he's thinking along the same lines, and I'd like to use my nat 20 also on this insight to see if I think that's gonna work.
You believe with every fiber of your body this is going to work.
So he goes back to the only tale that he really knows that will probably help him in this situation. In the beginning, no, dear bird, long before people and birds and all of the other things were around, first there was just a speck of light. Then there was land and mountains. And over millions of years, water and mountains and land and light became people. And he's looking around, hopefully. He's pressing the master reset button.
I like it. The storm appears to be slowing. There is no more lightning, no more thunder, and the rain is growing ever lighter. The battle continues to rage, and insects in hellish proportions are flying around you still, but the fire is being quenched. The fire, in its many colors, is dimming. And above you, a small break in the clouds, and the pale pink of the dawn is beginning.
Not in the book, not in the book.
Right, that brings us to the world. And that brings us to a couple of very nasty attacks. So let's start with that one. Kothar.
Oh boy.
Sorry, I dropped my dice. That's a nat 20, so that's a crit. And does 13 hit? It doesn't hit, does it? 16.
Nope.
All right, you take 12, 14. What's 2 times 19? I can't do the maths.
38.
38. Okay, you take another 38 points of mixed damage.
Okay. Kothar's down.
As the blade comes sliding through you again. And Koros, Tanto would be aware of this. You're not too far away from him. And you see this large sword with its slightly dimming rainbow fire just plunge deep into Kothar, lifting him a small distance off the ground and then lowering him to his knees. The world around you is shaking, and the tentacles slowly retracting back into the earth. And Kothar, your last vision as you fall into unconsciousness is that of the dawn breaking above you, of the twinkle of distant twilight stars fading away.
His last thought is just the phrase survival of the fittest, survival of the fittest, survival of the fittest.
And you collapse into mud and ooze, destroyed turf, and crumpled flowers. Koros, you embrace the large Minotaur enemy. You hold him tight, his glaive pushed into his body as you try and rewrite the ending with forgiveness, with understanding. You feel the creature before you stiffen as if he is about to push out, and then go weak, falling to his knees, nearly mirroring the journey that your friend Kothar had just taken. And he weeps, and tears stain and burn through his furry face, leaving dark, smoldering tracks. Olivia and Ken, who has disappeared, you are under a barrage of insects. And we'll just make a quick death save. Not death save, dex save.
Look where that's all.
Dex save, something else.
It's a battle
Ken,
already.
can
Jeez.
you make a dex save, please?
Can I also cast shield?
Is there a reaction?
Yeah.
Yes. Ken, can you make a dex save, please?
Oh.
You're under assault of insects, and you're still muted.
Oh, I see. Ah, yes. Well, fortunately, I'm super dexterous.
You are. So the swarm is attacking you, and Olivia, with your shield, you managed to defend yourself, and I think it covers other people, correct? Shield, or is that just a personal?
Protects you. Yeah, it just protects me as far as I can.
Okay. So it protects you. And with your dexterity, you kind of block some attacks on the other people on the cart as they're rolling upwards as fast as the mules can move them. And Ken, you are swatting these creatures away as you're trying to finish this new story that you're resetting the world with. Kitty, as you charge in, you bolster the front line and you begin your attack against the army with your fury, and the army fights back. Does a nat 20 hit you? I think it does.
Maybe.
Maybe. I don't know why I asked before I rolled it, and then I saw it was. You take 25 points.
Oh yeah, I'm out.
5 points of poison that I'm not doubling, just so you know.
No, I am so out.
And you too, as you charge forward to be brave, to fight, to use all of your training, and you feel a barrage of arrows unleashed, and they soar through the sky in almost slow motion. But you don't see them as they strike you, as they come so close as to impale you. You instead see the breaking of the dawn, and you feel in your stomach the fullness of a hearty fish dinner that you longed for. Of beautiful days when you were worshipped as the great mistress of the way that you are, and you fall in battle. Do you have a final thought as you become unconscious?
Her final thought is just, I'm pretty tired. A rest would be nice.
All right. That brings us to the top of the round, which is Kitty. Can you make a death saving throw, please?
I sure can.
Kitty has a nat 20.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, let's use that
just
bad boy.
Spring you right up, like.
Perfect.
10. Oh, damn it. I was so looking forward to resting.
Well, nat 20 is 2 death saves, 2 successes.
Oh, okay, yep.
At least that's how I've always.
Yeah, no, your DM, your rules. Yeah,
Alright.
cool.
Yeah.
So that's 2 successes.
Sweet.
Probably in the back of your mind, you feel a memory that cats have 9 lives, and perhaps you have another one in the bank. We'll see.
Just one, though.
Just one. Just one. Which brings us to Kothar. Would you like to make your death saving throw, please?
Yes.
Kofar still has a nat 1 as well, didn't you?
Thank you for reminding her.
Kothar, you, meanwhile, believe in your heart survival of the fittest, and you are not the fittest in this field of battle.
Yes.
And as your face is slightly submerged in mud, you begin to choke and suffocate to death. Please take 2 fails.
2
And that brings us to Tanto, who is hugging a crying Minotaur.
Okay, so I'm nearby Kothar right now.
Yes.
He's gonna look down at the Minotaur and pat his head, try to wipe the tears from his eyes. I hope you find peace one day, my student.
I hope I find honor.
You'll find it in helping others. And I was going to say, and this story, I think, is the end for me. Because I think this story would end on a happy note if I, an old, doddering old man, gave a warrior one last chance. And he's going to breathe in, look at the flowers that are caught up in the wind and the insects, and he's going to will himself to take Kothar's place.
As you do so, the wind of change passes through you, carrying your life force across the field. You pass through the enemies who still fight, and as you do, they lay down their arms, staring up at the dawn above them. Your life drains into Kothar, who breathes back, feeling born again with a new vigor. And beside the Minotaur, the shell of a turtle, half broken, lays empty. Kothar, you are considered to have advantage on all rolls you make from now on.
Oh. Well,
And that brings us to Ken. Up on your barrow, telling your story at the sky.
Yeah, that's exactly what he's doing. Can he see anyone who's having a bad time?
You can see the battlefield out beyond you.
But like specifically the people that are dying or dead or being laid down and...
You see some soldiers laying down their arms. You see very clearly the Minotaur has crumbled to its knees in front of the turtle. You see that Kothar had fallen. You have a good view from this cart. It's one of those weird moments where in a story, because you're the protagonist, you can see everything that's happening.
Fantastic. So, hop down from the cart. Like, do the weird bird hop thing down towards Kothar. Anyone in the way, or can he just make his way there?
You can go. The tentacles have touched. There are insects, but they are of no bother to you.
So he will reach down, looking at Kothar choking in the mud, and he'll extend an arm and snag his sword and coin purse and walk away.
And that brings us to Olivia's final turn. Final turn of the game.
Can I see Tonto?
As the wagon descends up the path and you look down on the field of battle, again that protagonist's eye zooms down and you see that shell inside the crumpled form of the Minotaur, who sobs openly. And you know deep within yourself that your friend is not there anymore. And the wind comes up carrying the smell of smoke and disaster, and it reaches you on the mountain path, and it rustles through unburnt trees and flowers, and you smell again the happy florals. And inside of you, you feel braver than you've ever felt before, and you know that you have done what Tanto did all those years ago with the help of Danda, and you've gotten these people safely away from this place.
Okay, so I'm gonna not cry. I'm going to hold his staff and I'm gonna say, just whisper on the wind, "Go in peace, my friend, and thank you." And I'm gonna say, and I was brave, and I got the people out, just like I promised.
And in your hand, the staff glows as if it has been entirely painted in holographic dust. All of the magic, and you know very much that your friend Tonto is always going to be in the staff, and he's always going to be there to keep you brave, and that you need to keep going to get these people to safety. And as you crest the hill, the dawn has broken and the entire sky is stained from deep red at the bottom all the way up to the palest of blues, and the moon still hangs. And you see before you the great range of the mountains, and in the distance, snow on the very tips still. And once more, you get that feeling from the flower field that today is going to be a beautiful day. And you round the next bend, continuing up, as Kitty and Kothar continue their fight to survive down in the field. Kitty, you find you have that life. You have that last life left in you. And you stand and you join Kothar. And slowly the tide of that battle is beginning to turn. And as Olivia rounds the next bend and looks back down at the valley, it is green once more. There is no sign of battle. The people in the cart cheer. You have brought them to safety. You have restored their valley. And though you don't know how it was done, you know in your heart that that is what has happened. And it was a wonderful time, and it wasn't that spooky. Now, in the end, the pied wagtail girl also came back to life because good people don't die in good stories. Ken, you are in a tavern as you hear the strangest of stories. One that you hope isn't true because it means the tale of what you have done has escaped the valley. And as you turn and look, you're relieved to see it wasn't the same pied wagtail telling the story, but another. And she seems most delighted in the tale she is telling. And she's taking suggestions of things to add to her story. And there is a complaint, a groan, a dark figure in the corner that says, "That's crap, that's not how it ended. Where's all my blood? Where's the Tarask I ordered?" And they're going through their pockets and rifling out, and they slam more money down on the table. "Tell another one." And that is how the one shot comes. Because chat will not be pleased unless there's blood and tears.
True. That is so true. Thank you, you guys. Let's see. We'll do a quick wrap up here. We're only running about 5 minutes late, so just give us a quick summary of who you are and where you are, and maybe put your links in chat. So Ken will almost certainly be waiting until that storyteller has finished, and then going outside and slitting her throat so that no one else hears the story. But that's Ken. Let's go around the rest of you. So let's go. I can't remember what order we introduced in.
You went first.
I did, didn't I? I just went first again. This time we'll go the other way around the clock. We'll go to Kim first.
I really enjoyed that. It was very emotional, but I loved it. Thank you for letting me play with you. You can find me on all my information at ageekyteaparty.com, and I will be over at Capricorn Cross's channel on Tuesday, and that's all that I have coming up right now.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for coming along too. Next we have Cars.
So, try not to cry. That was great session. Charlie, you did a great job DMing. It was wonderful.
Yes.
Agreed.
So thank you so much.
Just so you know, because I didn't really clarify it properly, in Olivia's mind, when you're looking down that valley, it's kind of like a year has passed. It's not what happened there didn't happen. It happened. But time had passed and the goodness had come back. So that's Olivia's reality.
I like to think that every so often that there's a slight breeze that passes through the gourds on the staff. Just a reminder.
Yeah, Olivia often thinks of Tonto.
And besides that, I guess I'm Koros RPG. You can find me on Twitter at the same name, as well as Twitch right now. Right now I'm stream a bunch of variety stuff. Right now I'm running through all the Kingdom Hearts games that I can. I'll be streaming later, and I'm going to be on Scrat's campaign every Tuesday at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, where I'm playing a Goliath barbarian. So come check us out there.
Yeah, and
That's
that
all I've got.
barbarian doesn't get any hard times at all. Everything's easy.
He's having a great day. It's a vacation for him. It's all smooth sailing, you know.
And next up we have Leah.
Hey, so I think Kitty would eventually just get up, lean on her quarterstaff, a newly developed limp, and just walk slowly away, just being like, people, I knew it wasn't worth coming out even for a good feast. And just kind of back to the monastery and back to her life of solitude. And as for me, you can find me on Twitter at How Peculiar, tweeting way too much about D&D and Critical Role, and posting lots of pictures of my cats and dog who kept interrupting the stream.
Sounds like completely relatable, top quality content to me. Next up, Mika.
So just really for Kothar, just so quick. So when Tonto gave his little life essence to him, does that mean like he just has advantage, or did he come to life again?
You came to life again.
Okay.
Yeah. Reinvigorated, massive HP pool.
Okay.
No sword or coin purse.
No sword or coin purse, however, that was apparently taken. But you could probably steal a sword from someone else who's just recently dropped arms.
he gets up, surveying the battlefield, kind of stumbling along, not sure what's going on, and he thinks in the back of his mind that maybe perhaps it shouldn't be the survival of the fittest. It should be something else. He's not sure what else, but he doesn't feel like fittest is the right word for it anymore. And yeah, that's Kothar. And for me, I'm the Mechanism on Twitter. That's like the mechanism, but with Micah instead of mech. I do D&D stuff, and I don't stream or anything, but I do write a D&D blog that I can link it in chat, and it's also in the bio of my Twitter, where I talk about intersectionality between new media and Dungeons and Dragons, as well as various other role-playing games. So I can link that in chat, and that is me.
Awesome, thank you so much. And last but by no means certainly least, the star of this little period, thank you so much, Charlie. That was an amazing little one-shot. You were saying you don't DM very much and don't DM on stream very much. Why not? Let's have you back for that.
Well, I want to thank all of you for coming out with such wonderful stories to share at the summer feast. For giving me such beautiful horrors to throw at you. For being such great heroes in the story, in your own ways. I want to thank chat as well for the chaos, for the assistances. I'm sorry if we didn't maybe run through all of your donations as quickly as possible, but I think Scrat said he's going to carry across anything that's not been used up. So it's all for a great cause, and a big shout out to Scrat and Alice and everyone else for helping organize this wonderful event. You can find me at Brush and Fire. I do loads of stuff all the time, so just stalk me. It's the best thing to do, really. Join the people who are unfortunate enough to stalk me and find out what I'm doing. The biggest thing that I will mention though is Warhammer Wednesdays over on Encounter RP. I'm here on Tuesdays as well, playing in a wonderful Wizard's Wardrobe, but Warhammer Wednesdays, I'm just very excited because I got my t-shirt today and I'm going to be wearing that on Wednesday. So yeah, please do come and check that out. It's 9 p.m. UK, 4 p.m. EST. It's a different system. It's very grim dark. Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you
It's
very
wonderful.
much. Well, you guys, I'm going to go and get the next group. So thank you so much for participating today. It's been wonderful to have you. But I'm going to take another short break there and grab the next group. We're going to take another quick intermission with some music. The music will come in shortly. I'm just going to go. So thank you so much, you guys. I'll see you soon. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.